Guys, I am so disappointed right now. Have you ever tried to give someone the benefit of the doubt? Even when you kind of knew better, but you gave them the benefit of the doubt anyway, and they made you look stupid? Well, that just happened to me. Except it didn't happen in my personal life. It happened right here on YouTube. I gave someone the benefit of the doubt in one of my videos, and now he has made me look stupid in front of my entire audience. If you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday I put out a video and we had a discussion about a young father who left his 3 kids at McDonald's while he went to, or supposedly went to, a job interview. This story has gone viral. Everyone's talking about it online, and we talked a lot about it right here on this channel. I saw people with all types of different opinions, and in the video I put out, I tried to approach the story from multiple angles because, look, it's never okay to leave your young kids. By the way, the kids were 10, 6, and 1. It's never okay to leave your kids unattended at McDonald's, let alone anywhere else. But according to this guy who got arrested for this, by the way, he said that he was in like the same shopping center, basically, right near McDonald's in this little shopping center, doing an interview. And that he left his kids at the McDonald's play place. He left the 10-year-old in charge to look after the 1-year-old and the 6-year-old while he went to go do this job interview. Now, I felt bad for him because at the very least it sounded like he was struggling, that he was trying to make a better life for him and his kids. At least he's not out doing some ratchet, who knows what. At least he's out looking for a job. And I understand it can be hard for young parents out here. This guy is 24 years old, and he has a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Do the math. He's been a father since the age of 14. I didn't know where the baby mother came into the equation. Obviously, I guess she couldn't watch the kids. And I know it could be hard for any young parent, but it could be especially hard for a young father in this situation because, like, a young mother could often call up a friend like, hey, girl, can you watch my kids for like 10, 15, minutes? Can you watch my kids for 30 minutes while I go to a job interview? A lot of young women also have friends that got kids, so it's easier to find someone to watch your kids. As a guy, what are you going to do? You're going to call up your homeboy? You're going to call up your friend like, hey, I know you're taking bong rips and, eating Doritos and playing Call of Duty. Can you watch my kids for 30 minutes while I go to a job interview? So it could be hard for just any parent in general, but especially a young man out here. Young men don't get as much help when it comes to kids, as young women do. But like I said, hard either way. But anyways, that's beside the point. So I tried to sympathize with this man, even though I know it's obviously wrong. Don't leave your kids at McDonald's. But supposedly he was just going across the street to do a little interview, and I just started thinking of how life was back in the day. Back in the day, this would be a nothing burger. Back in the day, this wouldn't be a big deal at all. Older siblings have babysitted their younger siblings since the beginning of time. My older brother babysitted me. He was 7 years older than me. My mom didn't leave me alone, really. My grandparents lived right across the street, so I always had someone to look after me. I didn't have to worry about this. My mom definitely, at the age of 6, 10, or 1 years old, I wouldn't be left alone at McDonald's, okay? But I know that, older siblings look after younger siblings all the time. I think the reaction to this story may have been a little different if he left the kids at home, even though I wouldn't suggest doing that either. I think people would look at the story differently if the 10-year-old was looking after the 6-year-old and 1-year-old for a little while he went to the job interview, as opposed to him leaving them at McDonald's. But like I said, supposedly he was just going right across the street. He's in the same shopping center, doing this interview as he left the kids at McDonald's. And there were, all types of different reactions online. A lot of people supporting him, a lot of people speaking out against him. And surprisingly enough, a GoFundMe was made for him. A famous ex-football player by the name of Antonio Brown. I'm sure some of you all know of him. He donated like $10,000. And people really tried to give this man the benefit of the doubt. They really tried to rally around him and help him out. Well, now new details have come out, and now we all look stupid for, trying to see the good in someone. That's what I did here. That's what a lot of other people did here. We tried to see the good in someone. We didn't want to tear this guy down, but it turns out that more details have come out, and I don't think this guy was at a job interview. It sounds like he was doing something else. So I am extremely disappointed. Because even against my better judgment, I tried. I don't want to say defend this guy, but I tried to somewhat defend him. I at least tried to present the story from a different angle instead of just crapping all over the guy. But now I guess we're all free to just crap all over this guy because it looks like he was lying about the job interview. Let's go ahead and dive into this article. New details on man's arrest for leaving kids at McDonald's to go job hunting. The Augusta Press viral story on the arrest of Chris Lewis for leaving 3 kids at a local McDonald's to go job hunting has sparked debate and sympathy all across the country. On Wednesday, in response to an outcry of requests from local and national media, Richmond County authorities released a full report Wednesday with more details into their investigation, saying that the father was not really looking for a job while the kids were at McDonald's, but he had been job hunting earlier that day. Lewis, a 24-year-old father from Augusta, Georgia, was arrested on March 22nd after leaving his 3 kids, ages 10, 6, and 1, at a McDonald's with a playground, telling deputies that he was attending a job interview nearby. Lewis, who did not have a car, walked his kids to the McDonald's and felt it was a safer place to leave them for a short time as he would be at the interview. After he returned to pick them up, a customer at the McDonald's called the police and Lewis was arrested and charged with deprivation of a minor. Captain Danny Whitehead conducted a follow-up investigation and noted inconsistencies regarding the whereabouts of Lewis during the period when the kids were left unattended at the restaurant. The 10-year-old kid told officers that she, her father, and her 2 siblings had walked to the McDonald's from the Hendricks apartments. She said that he left to deliver a backpack to the Hendricks apartments and told her he would return shortly. The kid also mentioned that her father frequently left them alone. 2 witnesses both reported arriving at the restaurant at approximately 4:30 p.m. Saturday and observing the kids there without adult supervision. They recalled that the father was on the phone with someone and was overheard saying that he needed to drop something off. The witnesses stated that after this, the father left McDonald's, leaving the kids behind. They estimated that the kids were alone for approximately an hour and a half. The 10-year-old daughter contacted her mother on social media at approximately 6 p.m. The mother arrived at McDonald's at approximately 6:12 p.m. She advised that Mr. Lewis was supposed to deliver a backpack to her mother at the Hendricks apartments and had been told that he must take the children with him, a sheriff's report says. The mother immediately called Mr. Lewis, who answered and stated that he was on his way back to McDonald's from the Hendricks. Lewis arrived at McDonald's at approximately 6:18 p.m., still in possession of the backpack. He told the mother that he had been trying to find her to give her the backpack. She reminded him that he was not supposed to leave the kids unattended. Lewis claimed that the kids were at McDonald's earlier that day. that he and the kids were at McDonald's earlier that day because he had filled out a job application at the West Bank Inn located adjacent to McDonald's and was waiting for a callback for a possible interview. He said he left to deliver the backpack to the Hendricks, but during that time, he lost his ID and another card and had been retracing his steps to find them. To verify this, Captain Whitehead visited the West Bank Inn and spoke with the manager. She confirmed that Lewis came in on March 22nd and completed a job application. She also conducted an informal interview with him on that date. When asked if Lewis would be expecting a callback for a formal interview, she stated no. The manager provided video surveillance footage showing Lewis arriving at 1:12 p.m. and leaving at 1:37 p.m. on March 22nd. Based on the video evidence and the timeline provided by all parties involved, it was determined that Lewis was not engaged in a job interview or application process during the time that the kids were left unattended. Furthermore, by his own admission, he was walking between McDonald's and the Hendricks apartments on foot during that period, a report says. The distance between these two locations is approximately 0.4 miles. It was determined that a misdemeanor charge of deprivation of a minor was appropriate to ensure the welfare of the kids and facilitate a review of the matter by the court, the sheriff's office said. This charge ensures that all parties have an opportunity to appear before a judge to determine if the kids are receiving appropriate care. Lewis's arrest has sparked widespread public outcry nationwide, with many arguing that he should not be criminally charged for trying to provide for his kids. The case has garnered attention from people on both sides of the political spectrum, with former NFL player Antonio Brown setting up a GoFundMe campaign to help Lewis. The campaign has raised over $40,000, with contributions coming from people who sympathize with Lewis's situation and believe the system unfairly punishes those in poverty. Many supporters have expressed frustration over the cost of living and the challenges faced by low-income families. The story went viral on social media platforms like X, drawing attention to the broader issue of poverty and the difficulties of escaping it in the U.S. Boy, oh boy, do I have some feelings about this. But before I get into those feelings, people often ask, how can they support the channel? And the answer to that question is very simple. You could support the channel by simply hitting that thumbs up button and dropping a comment below and becoming part of the conversation. That helps the channel way more than you can imagine. But if you want to take things one step further, you could also support the channel by dropping a super thanks or sending a Cash App. Also, I have a new video out on my other channel, Fat and Opinionated. This is a crazy story also involving McDonald's. So be sure to go check out that video. And let's go ahead and get into my thoughts about this disappointing situation. So long story short, I gave this guy the benefit of the doubt, thinking that he was a struggling young father that made a mistake as he was desperately trying to find a way to provide for his family. But it turns out that he's just an asshole that left his kids at McDonald's, that often leaves his kids alone as he goes and screws around and delivers backpacks, Yeah, I'm sure you're out here delivering backpacks to your baby mother's mother. Yeah, right. Sounds like a BS story. That whole story is BS. He's most likely out there selling drugs and making, drug deals as he leaves his kids to play for hours on end at the playground in McDonald's. They basically have substituted, daycare. They just say, hey, why pay for daycare? We'll just leave our kids for a few hours at the McDonald's playground while we walk around aimlessly and do Lord knows what. So yeah, I am extremely disappointed, and I'm kind of pissed Because, I mean, we talk about how the world and society has gone down the drain, right? We talk about all of the crazy things happening, all of the crazy, bad, evil people. And I try to see the good sometimes. You want to see the good in people. You want to see the good in some stories and in some situations. But, then you get a situation like this and it makes you second think yourself again, right? Now, I guess the question is, what should be done with this GoFundMe money? Because I don't know how other people feel, but now that I know these details, I definitely don't feel the way that I used to feel about the situation. How I felt yesterday about this story is not how I feel now. Now that I've been presented with this new information, I'm totally disgusted with the overall situation. And I'm mainly disgusted because I just, you wanted to hope and believe that this guy was just trying to make a way for his family, right? So as far as the GoFundMe money goes, I don't know how the people feel who donated. But if I donated money, I didn't. But if I did, I would feel like, yeah, I want my money back now for sure. So I don't think this guy should be getting like $50,000 or $60,000, however much money they've raised now on GoFundMe. Should this guy really get that money for leaving his kids at McDonald's as he went and did whatever the hell he did, which was not a job interview, by the way? I'm going to deliver a backpack to someone. No, you had something in the backpack that you went to drop off to someone. That's why you still had the backpack when you met back up. Your baby mama kind of halfway covered for you by saying, oh, you needed to go drop the backpack off to my mom, right? Remember? The baby mama should have had the kids or something. I don't know, man. I'm just disappointed. So disappointed. And I know that everyone, when they find this out, they're going to be disappointed as well, because for some reason, this story went extremely viral and it sparked all of these conversations. People reminiscing about how they were raised and how sometimes in some situations their siblings kind of raised them and stuff like that. So at the very least, even though I'm disappointed, I guess this story did provide an opportunity for, a discussion, a debate to be had. So for now, I want to hear from you guys. Let's continue that discussion down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.